Hey, welcome to the final Beyond Survival podcast episode. Well, it's not really an episode, more of an announcement. And like I said, this is the final one. We are no longer going to be recording episodes for this podcast. So let me just quickly explain. First of all, we started this podcast for two main reasons. First, we named it Beyond Survival because we kept hearing story after story, kept interacting with person after person, family after family, church after church, that had given into this idea that as a follower of Jesus, we are supposed to just survive this life until we get to heaven. That we're just supposed to trudge through life, grin and bear it, and then one day we'll go to heaven and we'll be with Jesus and it'll be all good. And we just think, after reading the scriptures and looking specifically at the life of Jesus, that Jesus actually offers his followers abundant life here and now, and that he actually wants to invite us to partner with him to bring more of heaven to earth here and now as we prepare for heaven, for eternity. So we started this podcast, first of all, for that reason. We wanted to interview individuals, talk about content, have conversations that help people know how to go beyond survival, how to live an abundant life. And I think we were able to do that. The second reason we did the podcast is because we wanted to expose people to really the heartbeat and the purpose and the mission and the culture of Waymaker Institute. This podcast was sponsored by Waymaker Institute. A lot of the people that were part of the interviewing process, myself and Tanner, we are staff members at Waymaker Institute, and we just wanted people to know and to see and to hear the spiritual thought and the spiritual teaching and the culture of the Institute, and to maybe even for people to say, hey, I would love to learn more. I would love to be a part of Waymaker Institute, to continue to get developed and continue to learn. And so we were able to do that. That was the second reason. And honestly, it has been an incredible journey. Personally, as a person that got to sit in on those episodes and interview different people and talk about different content, my life has been changed. I mean, there were multiple times where I would get lost in a conversation, that I would actually find myself emotional, that I would walk away from a conversation different and thinking about and contemplating, meditating on something a guest would say, or something that God would use personally in my life. It was really, really powerful. Not only that, but some of my favorite parts of being a part of this podcast were hearing from people. I would get text messages, or people would stop me somewhere and say, hey, like that episode deeply impacted me, or thank you so much for doing this podcast because it's been really impactful in my life. And that was absolutely incredible. And so here's what I would say. If you're like new to the podcast, or maybe you just kind of heard about it a few months ago and watched a few episodes or listened to a few episodes, I would encourage you to go back, because there are some incredible conversations that I think will greatly benefit you, your faith, your walk with Jesus, and to truly help you live and step into the abundant life that Jesus offers you. But here's what I know. Sometimes even good things can be a distraction from what God has called you to and me to. And so right now we are pivoting and moving away from the podcast, because even though it was really good, and even though we were able to interview people I never thought we would be able to interview, it's something good that is taking away time from what we know God's called us to at Waymaker Institute, and that is to develop leaders for the community, the church, and the nations, to truly raise up men and women who will lead and build the kingdom of God in their community, in their church, and will take the gospel to the nations. And that has ramped up and has required more of my time, more of Tanner's time. And so we just knew that it was time to say goodbye to a really good thing, to be able to step into what God has truly called us to. So again, I am blown away by some of the individuals we've been able to interview, national leaders and heroes, local legends here in the greater Lynchburg area. But God allowed us to some incredible conversations, and we hope that it was a blessing. We hope it encouraged and challenged you. Again, feel free. We're not going to take this all away. Go to YouTube or whatever you listen to podcasts and revisit some of these episodes, or listen to some that you haven't, because I know that they're going to be benefit to you. So it was an incredible ride. Thank you so much for joining us. And hey, we would love to see you at Waymaker Institute. If you feel like there's a call in your life to be a leader in the local church, maybe to plant a church, maybe to take the gospel to unreached people groups around the world, to different nations, we would love to help to develop you, to equip you, and even to commission you out to a good work. And everything we do really is spurred and fueled by Luke 10:2, where Jesus says, the harvest is great, meaning there are many people who need to hear the good news of Jesus, but the laborers, the workers are few. And so pray that God would raise up and send more laborers, more workers. And that's what we are about at Waymaker Institute. So if that's something that interests you, let us know. Go to waymaker.institute, or you can email me directly, brett.club@waymaker.institute. Thanks.